We now return to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Windbank's Pawnbrokery. Here we are again, at the scene of a crime. Now, to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please? What is it now? Should go home and get some rest. There you are, Gregsy. Yeah, the representation papers. Your ladyship. How? I don't believe it. How the devil did you get that stubborn little ragabash to sign that? I salute you. That is good work, that is. I can see you've been very busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue. I'm just imagining some sleeping potion in it or something. Ah, lovely. Well, let's see now. Yes, I hardly feel tired at all. I'm fit as a fiddle, your ladyship. Would it be alright if we investigated the scene of the crime then? Do as you please. You know where it happened. Through that door behind the counter. Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Windibank and Gina. Right, well, I'll be getting back to business then. Will you be investigating in the storeroom as well, Inspector? If I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. There are so many articles to go through, it's taken forever, even with the lads working round the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case in the yard needs to investigate urgently. That must be what Lord Strongheart meant by far more serious matters before. So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine. Right. Come then, let's not waste any time. So do we examine to get back there? I guess we do. Behind that door is the storeroom, isn't it? That's what Gregsy said. When did this happen? Yes, and that's where I saw the dreadful scene last night, through the little window in the door. A bullet in the back. Couldn't have been from the front. Oh my god, are we having a repeat of the first? Mr. Windibank, face down on the floor, with Gina beside him. Yeah, see, so I was right the first time. I had to have been right the first time. She was shooting out the window, it broke this thing. So we're going to investigate this as soon as this dialogue's over. He was shot in the back from someone on the other side of the door. As the accused legal representative, you have the right to examine the scene, Mr. Naruhodo. We must make a thorough investigation. Yes, of course, and we will. Behind that door, that's the real scene of the crime. Why can't I talk? Don't worry, if there are any clues in there, I'll find them. Excellent. But before we do that, there's the article ledger here. What? No, I'm not looking at the ledger. And Mr. Windibank's notes and, huh? What's this? It looks like... I thought he was like, huh? The lamp is broken. No, we're looking at the damn cat. What's this? It looks like it looks as though someone has left a little photographic print behind. Oh, look on the back. There's some writing. Is there? Oh, show us, Susie. Show us. What the hell is this? Pate deposited, article deposited, loan amount paid, redemption deadline. What the hell does this say? Okay, 15th of February, 10:30 p.m., article deposited, one gentleman's overcoat. Loan amount paid, £1, redemption deadline, the 15th of April, 10:30 p.m. The gentleman's overcoat pawned for £1? Clearly it was a very fine coat. In fact, I think Yes, this must be the ticket for the overcoat that Ginny seemed redeemed yesterday. And is still wearing, which belonged to McGilded. I would never have expected the redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of a photograph, though. It seems Mr. Windibank just used whatever piece of paper he happened to have at hand. But this photograph of a cat, it looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've seen this exact picture somewhere else recently. Oh, yes, you're right. Very recently. It's the same as the one Ginny gave us earlier. Of course, I was forgetting that she gave us the print. Oh, what are you waiting for then, Mr. Naruhodo? Get it out! This is an adorable little cat. I think it looks a little like... I think it looks a little like Woghoi. I'm not even drunk. What the hell? I always thought that cats like to curl up inside under the heat. Okay, we've already said this. Alright, let's get the cogs turning. Not quite exactly the same. This one is pointed off just a little bit here. Yes, they're exactly the same. Maybe it's just a stereoscopic illusion? I've got it. These two photographs hide an amazing secret. Secret? What does she mean? You must tell us, Iris, at once. Do you really want to know? Yes, we'd need you to tell us all you know about this pair of photographs. So, Iris, about these two photographic prints, the one we found here on Mr. Windibank's counter and the one Gina gave us before. What is this amazing secret you mentioned that's hidden between these two identical prints? Actually, that's not quite right. Sorry? If you look carefully, the two prints aren't the same. Not exactly. They're not? Another look at them now. Can you see that they're just slightly different from each other? I think so. It's very subtle, though. But what's the reason the subtle difference, or for the subtle difference between the two prints? Ah, well, it's because they're a set, you see. No, I don't. This pair of photographs is meant to be used in a stereoscope. Everyone in London is raving about them at the moment. Ah, a stereoscope. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word before recently? Oh, yes, that's what Mr. Sholm showed us yesterday. Okay, but the broken lamp... You see? There it is, just over there. Ah, yes, of course. That magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch. Well, actually... it's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures even without one of those contraptions. What? Really? She's got the little backpack keychain things I just noticed. Do you know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear to have any depth in the first place? No, I have no idea. Oh, wonderful. Then I'll be able to tell you. She's over the moon, bless her. Should we let her explain, though? We really need to carry on investigating the scene. I, for one, simply have to know. Oh, of course, Sato. How stereoscopic prints work. Have you ever considered, Runo, how our eyes seem to see depth in the world around us? Well, I just open them and it works. But the reason it works is because we have two eyes. Two eyes. Shocking. If you try closing just one at a time, I think you'll see straight away. What you see with your left eye, and what you see with your right eye. Ever so slightly different. You get a different view with each eye. Yes, the position of objects seems to shift slightly. Exactly. And in your head, your brain uses that shift to estimate depth as it merges the two views into one. That's how we can sense depth in everything we see. my brain really is amazing, isn't it? It does so much without telling me. Ah, I think I see. So the pair of photographs consist of a left eye view and a right eye view. Is that right? Oh, well done, Susie. You're so quick. I can imagine that there would be like a science program with her. Like a promotional, I mean like an actual promotional thing attached to this. So if you persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'd be able to see depth in these prints? Yes, Runo. You're beginning to understand. Good. And the stereoscope's function is to act as your brain and allow you to do just that. Yes, but as long as you have two images, two eyes, and one brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all. You can? Really? Oh, Jesus Christ, we literally just said that before the exposition. You could do this. How to view stereoscopic prints. Let's try it. Let's see if you can view this pair of prints without the help of a stereoscope. Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go. Chisato-san really loves this kind of thing. You need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you both do that? Didn't we do this in an earlier mission? Earlier chapter? Cross my eyes? I think I can. Watch me, and see if you can copy. Make your eyes do this. But not for too long, it'll stick that way. Alright, let me try. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? There, how's that? Wonderful. Now it's your turn, Runo. Well, let's see this. I hope it actually does the thing. The trick is to concentrate on looking at the bridge of your nose with both eyes at the same time. Not exactly an easy task when two people are staring at you cross-eyed. Alright, that's enough practice. The player, was actually supposed to do that. I was really hoping that the screen would shift. Now, let's try looking at the prints. Start by staring at one print and slowly crossing your eyes. You should see two overlapping images like this. You try it now, Runo. I'm just going to have to give it a try, I suppose. Did the print split in two images for you? Now, the next step is to put the pair of prints side by side like this, and then try crossing your eyes again. The prints should slowly merge together. Until... Okay. You know, I get that this game is probably directed at children, or very casual gamers, but definitely children for like this kind of... Everyone knows how to cross their eyes, right? But if they're just gonna do this anyway, why? Just be like, oh, if you cross your eyes, and they're like, oh, let me try, and then they just do this. Like, we could save 3 minutes. They form a new single image in the center. Oh, yes. Mr. Naruhodo, it works. I can see it in the middle now. It looks so real. Oh, I could look at it all day. Your eyes will stick that way. I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start to hurt. Your turn, Runo. Pretend you're looking through the two pictures and slowly cross your eyes. Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until the two images overlap exactly in the middle. Like this, is it? I'll take your word for it. I'm not actually going to do that. There, you managed it. So now you know how stereoscopic images work. Well, I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary. So what do you think of the stereoscopic prints then, Runo? They're certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the knack of viewing them properly. No, some people find it easier than others. But that's why contraptions like this exist, so people who find it tricky, or for people who find it tricky. Oh, I recognize that. We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we? If I remember correctly, you press this little knob here, then set the pair of photographs in the stand at the back, and... It's still amazing, even though I know roughly how it works now. Yes. Incredible. Well, London seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. You can find one of these folding contraptions in lots of households in the capital currently. But if these little machines are so affordable, surely there's no need to go around staring cross-eyed at pictures like you hate them. But it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effect with your own eyes. Well, I think so in any case. Stereoscopic pictures. I'd never even heard of them until yesterday. I've certainly learned a lot about them, but I wonder if it's knowledge that I'll ever actually need. Oh, of course you will. There's gonna be some stupid puzzle. Okay, can we talk about the broken lamp over here? Okay. You. Police are scouring every inch of this place by the look of it. Instructions from the yard are to examine every article in the shop and every ledger and book of accounts. Every article? But that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely. We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. I don't know what voice you've got. I'm almost giving you Gregson's voice. We're sifting through it all in shifts at least, but still, we'll be working all through the night, that's for sure, and even then we're barely scratched the surface. Crime in a pawnbroker's. Must be every policeman's worst nightmare. It's every copper's worst nightmare, you know. A crime in the pawnbrokers. Right. Now you... Oh, no, my God, not... That ledger that's open on the counter there really is enormous, isn't it? Must be an awful lot of work to keep track of all these hundreds of items in the pawn. It's too much to think about. Better to sell it all and have a clear head, if you ask me. But clearly Mr. Windibank was very careful when it came to articles in his care. It's too... broken glass, goddammit. We're just gonna look at everything here again. That's a music box. Do you have them where you're from, do you know? Yes, but I've never seen one as large as this in Japan. Oh, well, this will be a treat. Oh, God. Shall we have a listen? What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound? It's a beautiful sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks. Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Gregsy to have a word. Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard. Fantastic. I just wanted to look at it. Oh, what's this? Shelves are where pawnbrokers put articles that have been forfeited on display for customers to buy. Yes, it's a really strange miscellany, isn't it? I mean, who would buy this horse statue, for example? Well, sometimes you can find real treasures among all that junk, you know? Are you all right, Bruno? Oh, it's just, well, it looks like a collection of useless junk as a whole, but you pick out individual things, you can't help wishing you owned them. Even that horse statue. That's exactly how the pawnbroker works. They're very clever. Yeah, sure. How do I... No. No. There. This is that strange contraption that lets you see pictures of things as if they're right in front of your eyes. It makes you think. When Mr. Shones gleefully showed it to us yesterday, we were blissfully unaware that any of this was about to happen. It's almost like it was foreshadowing for the game. This officer's been staring intently at the wall since before we came in here. Shh, keep it down. Oh, sorry. There's a major clue just here. Really? Then you must tell Gregsy at once. As soon as I report it, that'll be it. I'll be stuck here even longer. Stuck here? What do you mean? I haven't been home in 2 days already. I'll need another constable to relieve me and take over my shift. Oh, really? Okay. You really have a tough time in the British police. It doesn't stop us investigating, though, does it? No, I suppose not. I'm fairly sure it was the calendar he was peering at. Ah, look here. The bullet. Oh, yes, a bullet hole. I mean, more than the hole, Susato. There is an actual bullet in there. And I can see the bullet is still lodged in the wall. Presumably, Mr. Windibank wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time. Ah, well, and there's blood, so... But that... Mr. Sholmes likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that. Sorry? It's all there in the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, you know? Isn't that right, Iris? Did I write something like that? Partly in jest, perhaps? In jest? Well, he doesn't do it often. It's quite a dangerous pastime. He doesn't do it often? He shouldn't even do it once. Forget that for now, Runo. Let's examine this bullet. Sure. What's that around the bullet hole? Is it blood? A suspicious red stain on the calendar. Ah, I may well be able to help with that. What? There's nothing like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Runo? I have a feeling I'm not as bloody-minded as you, Iris. I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold. There you have it, you see? When it comes to blood, we're all different types. Yes, what a scientific observation. So you need this. Oh no, what is that scary-looking thing? Harley and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet. But as soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does. Watch. Oh, the color of the bloodstain has changed. There, does it make sense now? Yes, I think I'm starting to understand. Good. It works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see. Yes, how wonderful. The chemical it fires combines with the blood and makes it change color. So you can identify whose blood it is and that you're looking at in a flash. Oh, what a fabulous invention, Iris. Is it? Isn't it? I bet Ginny would say it's bleeding great. So, whose blood are we looking at, then? Well, all the chemical does is turn the blood a different color, so... just find someone whose blood turns the same color, and you'll know who it belongs to, in a flash. It's more like 2 flashes, really, isn't it? 1 flash or 2, this could well turn out to be a very valuable clue. So we must make note of it in the court record. The blood samples were entered to the court record. Let's keep testing and adding the results of any other blood analysis to the portfolio. As long as I have reagent left, sure. Okay, why isn't this checkmarked now? Green blood. It just seems wrong somehow. Oh, there are all sorts of different colors. They're all pretty pinks and purples too, you know. Like I said, everyone's blood is different. I wonder what color my blood would turn out. Actually, I don't want to know. Okay, we got that. I'm fairly sure this contraption was here yesterday as well. Here we are, though I'm not confident I could get it closed again. Oh yes, that's a folding stereoscope. Yes, we were talking about it 2 minutes ago. Really? This is a stereoscope. Mr. Sholmes showed us a picture yesterday that you were supposed to be able to see in 3 dimensions. But for that, he used the great big contraption over there. Oh, well, that's for use in public houses and places like that. It contains a carousel with all sorts of pictures inside. But this little thing is a much simpler design for use at home. There are special shops selling prints you can use in them. I have a little collection myself. I wonder if I could make some money out of these in Japan. It would beat keeping my toilet sparkling clean anyway. What? It would beat keeping my toilet sparkling clean. Anyway. What? The fuck does that mean? Okay, I guess we're gonna I guess we have to move. So we'll move. New location has been added. The storeroom. Since we don't get to look at the shattered That's gotta be a thing, though. It's gotta be a thing. It's gotta be a clue. Yes, there was a shattered thing and there was a bullet in the calendar. Whatever. Windibank's storeroom. Poor Iris. She's clammed up completely. Iris is bound to find this difficult. After all, Mr. Windibank's life was taken in this very room only last night. Oh. Wait, Inspector! What was it now, Sunshine? You took one look at me and tried to run away. Do you think a Scotland Yard inspector would run away from some jumped-up little defense lawyer, do you? Well... I've never seen a ladyship looking like that before, was a thing? I didn't know what to say to her. So you weren't running away from me, you were running away from a 10-year-old. I'm afraid this is all a little much for young Iris. Some gentle reassurance might go a long way, perhaps, Inspector. Eh? Yeah. Don't trouble yourself unduly, your ladyship. I mean, at least you're not dead, are you? I don't think that went very well. Why? Look, I'm in the middle of an investigation here, Sunshine. I told you not to get under my feet. And we have investigating to do ourselves. Yes. I'd like to hear more of what the socially inept inspector has to say. Oh, Harry. And inquire into how Mr. Sholmes's operation is going. Very well. The scene of the crime. So, Inspector, what do you make of the crime scene here? Sure, you've got eyes, haven't you? Use them. It is what it looks like, nothing more, nothing less. Iris, could you lend me a hand? So, Grexy, what do you make of the crime scene here? Oh, yes, your ladyship. Well, I suddenly have a frog in my throat. Do allow me to humbly explain. Last night, shortly after the hour of 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard police attended the scene. Yeah. The one and only door to the storeroom was found locked from the inside. So it was locked from the inside. The lock appears to be broken now, though. Was that the police officers doing? Quite right, man, quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in, as humbly as possible. Oh. As you can see, the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor, thuswise. And next to the aforementioned body, we discovered the vile gutter child. Are you talking about Ginny? She's my friend, you know, Inspector. Miss Lestrade, the hapless girl, was curled up on the floor, dead to the world. She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious. And I'm afraid to say she had the gun that was used in her hand. No. Presumably, it's the gun that's still down there on the floor now. In her pocket, we found the key to the door as well. What? The key to this storeroom? And you say the storeroom has been locked from the inside, Inspector? Correct. All of which leaves her ladyship's friend in something of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. I have to say, I know I'm terrible at voices, and especially keeping the voices consistent, but I think Gregson's my favorite one that I'm attempting. Obviously, my personal opinion is that it's all some sort of misunderstanding. Of course it is, Inspector. Of course it is. Gregsy, do you know anything about Hurley? Is the operation finished? Is Hurley alright? See? The thing is, Don't mince your words, Inspector, please. You don't mean to say that Mr. Sholmes is... No. The operation's done and dusted. It's just that, well, out with it. Yes, ma'am. They use something called a general anesthetic. It's the latest thing. Renders the whole body insensitive. The whole body? Anesthetized? Is that even possible? It means the operation can be completed while the patient is fast asleep. I mean, with all the opium they probably had around this time. Goodness, in the Empire of Japan, we can just manage to provide laughing gas for a tooth extraction. And the trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my meaning. They couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took hours for him to nod off, so I hear. And now that the op's finished, they can't get him to wake up, apparently. Oh my. No one knows if it's the anesthetic still in his system, or if the bloke's just plain exhausted. But anyway, all they can do is stand back and watch until he comes round again. At the moment he opens his eyes, your ladyship, I swear I shall get word to you. What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Sholmes has to do things his way. I think we're done talking to you, please. The gun. This is a revolver, a real one. I mean, what do you mean, a real one? Are you expecting a fake one? And quite possibly the murder weapon used to take Mr. Winterbank's life, not from that angle. What's the matter, Susie? You and Bruno look like you're about to faint. Like you're about to faint. Well, it's just that I've rarely seen a gun in the flesh. And I've had issues with guns in the past. But anyway, we saw Mr. Winterbank with this yesterday, didn't we? Oh shit, what was your voice? I shall have to take my own life. It must be the same gun. And last night, when I looked through the spy hole in the door to the storeroom here, he got shot, he dropped the gun, she picked it up. That was the same gun I saw in Gina's hand. Mr. Winterbank told us that he only ever had a single bullet loaded in his revolver, didn't he? Well, it's empty now. The one and only bullet he had in his gun has been fired. So we can be fairly certain that only a single shot was fired from this revolver. The police have marked the position of the body with a chalk line. Oh, Mr. Winterbank, he was a nice old man. Well, he was shot just once through the heart. Most likely, the fellow died instantly. He wouldn't have felt a thing. But from the back. He was shot through the heart from the back. This must be his blood, then. Ah. Yes, it's a chance for the contraption. I don't like to ask at such a wretched time, Iris, but I wonder if perhaps... Don't worry, Susie. I'm ready for action. Good. He's royalty. So, now we know the color the chemical turns when it reacts with Mr. Winterbank's blood. Which is not the same as the door. And it doesn't match our analysis of the bloodstain we found in the main shop. No, but let's add this sample to the others we've already collected anyway. The blood samples portfolio has been updated in the court record. I should actually like to look at this right now because I want to see if it, Okay, Pop Winterbank. We do not know Mr. Green. With the revolver in the storeroom. So that still didn't go with the... We don't have a check mark yet. Iris? Don't worry, I'm alright. But we must find the true culprit. I agree. Yes, absolutely. Look at all these articles that have been deposited. The room is stuffed full of them. I can't believe how many there are. A bicycle, a gramophone, musical instruments, even some enormous paintings. Look! Pieces of different people's lives quietly gathering dust in here together. There's something very peaceful about the atmosphere in here. Or at least there would be, if not for the chalk outline on the floor and the policeman shuffling around. Well, what you gonna do about that, sunshine? Look at the open chest. Out of all the articles in the storeroom, this is the only thing that shows any signs of being ransacked. Ah. But what is it, Iris? That's the box file that my manuscript was being kept in. Oh. Iris's unpublished story, The Hound of the Baskervilles, that somehow Susato has read. Because Gina gave it to her. That has to be it. Surely that's not what all this... She sold it without telling you. We must check inside the box at once. Yes. It was there. Iris's story was there. Really? It was? Well, that's good news, isn't it, Iris? Yes. I mean, of course I believed Holly when he said he deposited it here, but still, it's a relief to actually see it. Really? Because that's not a very well hidden frown. Iris's manuscript has been entered into the court record. I'm curious. The Hound of the Baskervilles. How did Susato-san know the exact title of this unpublished story? I suppose I'll just have to wait until she's ready to explain it to me. I'm so sorry. Okay, well... Do I click it again and... Nope. Nope! So we won't get that clue until... whenever. Okay, nothing else here. Post-its, post-its. Okay, so what? I mean... Now what? Oh, how about... That's not what I do there. Present? Inspector Gregson, could you give me your opinion about this, do you think? We don't tend to share, Sunshine. And now not with the general public. In that case, Gregsy, how about some herbal tea? Ah, lovely. Oh, very much. That really is the spot, your ladyship. You don't mind sharing that, then? Okay. Present the manuscripts? Is that what I think it is? Your ladyship's latest? Yes, my latest story. It's called The Hound of Baskervilles. A most fascinating title, your ladyship. Fascinating, and, I don't suppose... Would there be any mention of my humble self in the tale this time? Good question. I can't really remember. Oh, I see, I see. Well, why would you, your ladyship? I'll just wait. I'll just await its publication with eager anticipation. You needn't worry, Inspector. I'm sure if you do appear, you won't be doing anything particularly remarkable. Wow, what a dick. You're looking to be arrested, Sunshine. I didn't mean it like that. You definitely did. There's no other way to take that. And even if I did, you wouldn't have bitten her ladyship's head off, would you? There's no other way to take that. Well, I'm stumped now. You might miss what people say. Thanks, Iris. I'm gonna need a clue here, folks. What the... Jesus. The W key was stuck. That was interesting. Okay, let's just go back out here and hope it triggers something. I still... This... Why won't you look at this damned... So we can't visit. I don't know what we're supposed to do next. God damn it. Oh, my manuscript. Mr. Sholm said he'd deposited it at Windibanks, and he had. But it's so strange. What is it about this particular story? I worked so hard on it. Why would Hurley say I can't publish it? I'm afraid I have no idea. All you can do is wait until he's ready to tell you, I suppose. Oh, maybe. It's because Hurley isn't in it enough. Maybe I didn't give him enough good lines. Yes, maybe. I wish I could say that definitely isn't the reason, but I can't. I've missed something. I've missed something dramatic here. There's usually a hint as to where to go next, but... I don't know. I guess we could go back and talk to Gina? Like we've been to the place and that's about it. Maybe? Gina doesn't appear to be here. I believe she must be in questioning at the moment. Oh, but wait a minute. What is it, Iris? Well, if you examine the scene here carefully, there's another possibility, isn't there? Jeannie could have slipped the key from the jailer when he wasn't looking and escaped. Oh my. Why would she do something like that? It would only make her situation worse. Calm down, Runo. I was only joking, of course. Oh. You had me worried there. I thought it was a great deduction. Yes, it must be your way with words, Iris. You're so wonderfully persuasive. Yeah. Perhaps you don't fully understand the weight your words carry. Oh dear, I'm sorry. I suppose a light-hearted great detective is a contradiction in terms, is it? Well, in the same situation, I'm sure Mr. Sholmes would have just thrown his head back and guffawed. I'm not entirely sure that's helpful, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, anyway, it looks like we won't be able to talk to Gina for a while. We should try to make progress with our investigation in the meantime. But where? Yes, come along then, Runo. Come along, Susie. Okay, we only have the ability to move. mean, this hint. Listen to people, what people say. Okay. Do we have to talk to... I don't know. I don't know. We'll go back here. Maybe I have to talk to these people again to get new options or something, but this is really confusing. Or presents... I don't know. I'll have to look this one up. I'm going to end this one here. I will see you next time.